Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. The next episode of Red Valkyrie is about to start.
Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Red Valkyrie. I am your host Shae Zombie and I am here with apparently my twin, the other Shae Mowry. How are you doing, sir?
I am good. Funny, I'm actually a fraternal twin, but he looks absolutely nothing like me whatsoever.
We don't got to get into it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's so rare to meet somebody that spells it the same way.
Yes, that is very true. And so I don't know about you. For me, it's a nickname because everyone messes up my real name. So it's a nickname, but it's a nickname based on how my actual name's spelled. So it's still.
Well, mine is my real name, but maybe I should have a nickname because people are always like Shane or Shaw.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, they're going to do that. I get called Shanae a lot, and it's not always ironic. Sometimes it is, but hey, this is what happens.
My little brother calls me Shaniqua.
Oh, I've gotten that one too.
Yeah.
It's fun. Well,
I've never heard Shea Butter before, ever.
Oh no, that is one of my volleyball nicknames. It makes me super happy. I like Shea Butter, just because I think it's hilarious. But we are here because you have not a comic but a novel.
Yeah.
And so your novel is called Legends of Fostra?
Yeah, Fostra. I'm not like one of those authors that really is like picky on how people pronounces the character names and stuff, but that's how I pronounce it.
Okay. Well, it's your creation, so it is however you want it pronounced. But I'm going to send it over to you for the pitch, and we're going to kind of check out some of the concept art and stuff like that you have. So take it away.
So Fostra is this world that I've been building since I was in high school, and I really got into like R.A. Salvatore and the Legend of Drizzt. I've read pretty much like all of his books, and I've read The Lord of the Rings, and I'm reading Game of Thrones right now. So there's a lot of influence from those books. And so I kind of like, well, yeah, I'm sure that you probably know, like when you're watching like Game of Thrones, you kind of see like maybe they'll do something with a character that bugs you, and you're like, I wish that I would, if it was me, I would have done it this way. And so part of it was my love of fantasy. Part of it was just like, I don't know, maybe I have like a God complex where I feel like I want to control things. So I made this world with all these characters, and it's really I'm a high school teacher, and like 8 to 10 o'clock at night. I don't know. It's just how this book in the series. I have written a book before this. To understand this one, this is kind of like almost like my restart, if you will. I think that the first book I was a little bit overwhelmed with just the whole process, and I was learning things. It's still a really good book, but this is kind of like my full on like. I'm very confident in this book, that it's going to look like a real high quality published book. And I've learned so much about like grammar and everything that it's just a lot better. And it follows like my main character is an orc, and I've always loved orcs, even like the bad orcs. And yes, to that comment, yes, that orc is inspired by Sean Bean. I've always loved orcs. And like when I play Skyrim and stuff, I'm always an orc. I don't know. They just really because you want to do something different every time, with your own stuff. I don't want to just be a repeat of Lord of the Rings or R.A. Salvatore or something.
Right.
So my orcs they're still incredibly brutal, and they're still ugly. Although admittedly, they're probably a little bit more handsome because they're like that orc there. His face is inspired off of Jason Momoa's face. And the main character's face is inspired off of Sean Bean, but they still have like the gross mouth. They still have the weird looking nose, and they still have green skin. My orcs are also still incredibly brutal. That orc there, his name is Zach Bonebreaker, and he earns that name. He'll rip someone's spine out, that sort of stuff, like Mortal Kombat style. So they're still brutal, but they're also noble, right? So they were made by the like Odin / God. There's a lot of Judeo-Christian and Norse mythology put into this. And they're kind of made specifically as soldiers. And so they have this really unique character, personality to them, where they kind of have this feeling that they were made purely just to be killed, which is kind of accurate. And that kind of creates a really interesting dynamic. I do a lot of research on like PTSD and things like that. And so I like to have my characters be very fleshed out and thought out. And so I think that my orc characters, like the main character Narbad, are in particular very, very good, complex, layered characters. And when we pick up, the orcs are enslaved because although they are not evil necessarily, people still think they are because they're so ugly and brutal. Right. And so they're enslaved. And so Narbad kind of has the desire to, like we all do, to make a name for ourselves and to do something and improve our situation. And so he is, I don't want to spoil too much, but he's going to end up not being a slave, and he's going to be on this crazy adventure pretty much to save the world from this evil ice demon, who's kind of like a son of Loki, if you wanted to relate it to Norse mythology. And it's kind of hard because the world is so complex, but I don't know if you know a lot about Norse mythology, but like the tree of Yggdrasil and like the tree of the universe in my books, that is Odin or God's first creation. And the Loki / Satan figure at one point kills that tree. And then Odin / God makes the tree into an armor and weapon, which is the only thing that can kill Loki. And it's very complex, but Narbad is kind of like the guy that paves the way for the chosen one, if you will. And so this story it's self-contained, but it's also a part of a larger universe. So like you're not getting just a third of a story. You're getting a full arc, right? It's kind of like A New Hope, right? You have other Star Wars movies, but A New Hope is its own thing, right?
Right. So
that's what this book is like. You get a full arc. It's not like you're just buying the first third of an arc that's going to take 3 books to tell. And then the sequel, which I already have the second draft done of that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I was distracted. I already have the second draft of the sequel written, and it is also it follows these characters still, but it's still self-contained.
Okay.
So it's a very, very brutal world. There's a lot of violence, and it's kind of like if you put Mortal Kombat and the brutalness of like Game of Thrones into a level of lore that would be parallel to Lord of the Rings. Because like George R.R. Martin keeps it pretty grounded, but I like the magic. So there's a lot of magic in here, but it still has that grittiness, and no character is safe from being killed off. And before somebody asks it, no, Sean Bean Orc does not die in this book. He might die in another book, but not this one.
Not this one. He's at least going to make it through this one.
Yeah. So to me, this is the book series that if I would have found it in high school, it would have been the absolute best thing ever. Like that's what I seek to do, is make a world that I would have loved as a teenager or a young adult, and obviously even now. So my male characters are all very handsome. My female characters are all very beautiful because it's fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, well, and let's be real. People want pretty characters. Like that's what's more interesting, if we're going to be honest. And I mean, your villain and your not so villain characters that are both female, they're gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that one right there is actually the face. I sent in the model. I was like, they have to be beautiful, you know? Yeah. And the males have to be handsome and rippling with muscles.
Yeah, your guys, I mean, bad example.
Yeah, he's ugly.
But I mean, like you did a good job making them like the person that you hired for your artist to kind of make your male characters based off of actual actors, so they have a realistic look. But it's also for somebody like me, like I'm terrible at reading. I get super distracted very easily, which makes it really hard when you start giving me the reason I've never really gotten into fantasy is because you give me so many characters,
right.
And I have to sit here and try and remember who's who and who looks like what. And the way that I ended up getting through a lot of this would be going through like a magazine and picking out various like actors or whatever that I could try and okay, so this guy looks like Sean Penn and this guy looks like Robert Downey Jr. or whatever. And it's not even that that's necessarily what they look like, but it's the only way that I can keep it in my head because it's something I'm more familiar with. So I like the fact that you kind of based your characters off of more famous people because then it kind of does that work for you.
It's kind of funny because I love the way that Ned, I just love the way Sean Bean, I just love everything about him, really. Boromir, Ned Stark, just that his aesthetic is just, I love it. And his accent, not only do I like his face looks like him, but like whenever I read what this character is saying, I try to read it in Sean Bean's voice because I just love that guy's voice so much.
Right. Well, and so we had an early on question that I just want to kind of highlight. So Jetsabel wants to know, is it a graphic novel or prose? This is a novel. This is not a graphic novel, but it does have a visual companion.
Yes.
So you can get some of this nice concepts art and kind of the idea behind the world and the characters as an add-on to the novel.
Yeah, and I've been designing the visual companion myself, and it's turning out really well. It looks very classy, and something you mentioned earlier is like fantasy novels have so many characters. I like to keep I don't ever want to have too many characters in one book.
Right.
So it is every character that would be really important to know what they look like is in the visual companion as a visual.
So then that brings up another question from Jetsabel. She said that she purchased the physical book. Is the visual companion separate?
It is separate. I have it set as a secret tier. If you're already a backer, I can give it to you as a secret tier. And but yeah.
And you can just kind of add it on without the shipping.
Right. It doesn't cost any extra shipping, and the visual companion's just like $15, I think.
Awesome. And Chris wants to know, are we making an official RPG to go with it?
It is one of my dreams to create like even just like a pixel like RPG. I would absolutely love that. But that's like a wild dream of mine. I have absolutely no idea how to do any of that. But hopefully one day.
Oh, I got the amount of people in CG that are dungeon masters and been playing like D&D and stuff. We could make that an RPG pretty easy. Eddie, if you were listening.
Anytime I've DM'd a D&D campaign, I've unofficially put it in my world. Like they don't know that it's in my world, but it is. And if I have a D&D character that's not a part of my books, usually after a few campaigns, I'm like, I'm going to put them in my book anyway because I love them now. Nice.
Apparently, Chris is talking about an actual video game, which would be real awesome.
Dude, I would seriously, that was like be the coolest thing ever. Like I often say, like people like, what if your book was made into a movie? I'm like, I'd almost rather it be a video game because you get to play them. I don't know. It's just
more immersive.
Exactly.
Well, and if we're going to be real, basically video games and novels are really, really similar to the same thing. The difference is a novel is letting you kind of take that trip in your head. and not having to control something, not potentially getting killed over and over again, having to restart. So it's a more one shot through the story the way the story was intended, but a video game is you experiencing that same story.
And I feel like a video game doesn't have like the time crunch that a movie does. So I don't know. I just feel like that's like the perfect way to have a novel go about.
So Jezebel would love to have that secret link, so I'll get you her information when we finish this this stream, and so you guys can hook up and she can get herself that visual companion.
Yeah, no problem.
So Ian wants a shirt. He says that you have all of this, you have an accomplished brand with all of your merch, but he wants a shirt.
I mean, shirts are not out of the possibility in the future. I do actually have a Mistwood Publishing website where I put like this hoodie was on there at one point. So yeah, the Narbad art there might end up being a t-shirt someday. We'll see.
Okay. Honestly, if I have a vote, I'm just saying her or her, I would totally love as a t-shirt. Either way, because they're both gorgeous, and I would totally walk around rocking beautiful women on a shirt for sure.
I would totally be game for both of those as well. I think that one particularly I would love to see on a shirt.
It's, I mean, especially, or on the back of a hoodie with your Legends of Fostra on the front and her on the back. Anything like that would be absolutely amazing. So we've already got people that are asking about the Visual Compendium. So let's go ahead and go through your tiers so people know where they can back to get that out the gate. Yeah.
So that featured tier right there, Linod's Yari package, that comes with the ebook, the physical book, the Visual Companion, and a sticker of the Narbad art.
That's a good bit of gear that you can get there for sure. This is the one that I keep staring at.
Yeah. I'm going for like the big stickers. I'm not like talking like a little sticker.
Okay. So you can really see all that detail.
Yeah. And by the way, the Visual Companion, that is not the cover for it. That is not done yet.
Okay.
That's the only thing I'm really waiting on.
So how long is the novel and how many pages is the Visual Companion?
The Visual Companion, I think right now is at like 26 pages.
Okay.
The novel itself, it really just depends on how the formatters are like finishing up the file right now. Almost 400, but whenever you take a 5 point whatever, it does increase it, so it'll somewhere between 500 and 600 pages.
Okay. Cool.
But the way that I write, my writing style is very quick paced. It's not like a Game of Thrones book where things move very slowly. My book is really kind of like bam, 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 bam. There's something happening in every chapter that's important and will grab your attention. A lot like an R.I. Salvatore novel.
Okay.
Because that's very important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hey, look at that. We already got Jason's backed it, which is super great. Love it. I love it when it happens when we're on air. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
All right. So if you want just the ebook, we're talking $8.
Yep.
I'm gonna let you keep going through the rest of these.
Bothlin's Hammer, and these are all obviously characters in the book. That is just the physical book, and of course it's signed. And the physical book comes with the map in it. If you've seen the art where the monkey has the antlers, that's inside of the physical book. And there's also another piece of work of the villain that will be inside of the book.
All right. And then
the Narbad's Axes is the ebook, the physical book, and the sticker.
Okay.
And Talia's Courage is you get the ebook, the physical book, the sticker, and an 11 by 17 estimated size print of the cover art.
Okay.
I used to have more tiers that had more prints in them, but I took them down because I wanted to know how many I need.
Mm-hmm.
And the family bundle comes with 3 stickers, 3 physical books. Indiegogo wouldn't let me put more items on it. That just tells you how much stuff you get with it. But they do actually get, like, I think I ended up doing 2 visual companions. So 3 stickers, 3 physical books, 2 visual companions, an ebook, a print of the cover, and 3 of the mugs.
Okay. So in other words, pay attention to what's up here in the picture more than what's listed right there.
And yeah, it won't let me change the description either because someone has backed it.
Yes. So to give you the same tip that I give most people, if you do want to go through and update it and try and fix it, all you need to do is hide this perk and remake it. So
yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, and you can just, so you had 1 out of 20 claims. So when you go and do it again, just do 19 available.
Right. That's a good idea.
There's some people that get worried about this number because they want this number to be like kind of a counter. And most people that I've talked to and most people that are backers don't really pay attention to this number unless it's getting close to a limited amount tier and it's getting close to the end. That's usually the only time that anybody's paying attention to it. Otherwise, people are usually going to pay more attention to the number that's up here.
Right.
Because that's, you know, how many people are kind of in on this with you sort of thing. So that would be my suggestion, especially with you only having one person have it. Just hide it and remake it.
Right. That's probably what I'll do. There are a few add-on items listed right there. So you can add on a mug for 15. You can get a big print of the map, which I drew myself. It took me a long time.
Yeah, I bet.
45. My first book, which is technically number 5 chronologically, is 6. And right there, you can see the visual companion, and that is a rough draft of the cover for the visual companion.
Okay. I have a question on your mugs.
Yeah.
So looking at them, are they ceramic or are they like those metal camp mugs?
They are ceramic.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish they were tin, but
because they definitely have that like rustic kind of look, and I figured I needed to at least ask simply because with it being a fantasy, they could have easily been tin and it would have really fit.
Yeah. I've used those exact mugs before, but navy blue, and they're very nice. The grip on them is very comfortable. It holds plenty of liquid. They're actually like my favorite mugs. So it's the same brand. It's just in a different color. And, you know, it looks nice.
Well, I'm having a very hard time not throwing a lot of money at this because I'm a sucker for mugs. I obviously want the visual companion. I'm really curious about the book. Which says a lot because I normally am not, like I said, I don't normally back novels. I'm not normally really super into them simply because I get real distracted, like really easy. But this seems really interesting.
This book I think I've really done a good job of keeping the person's attention. There's just a lot of really compelling characters that are very relatable. There's a lot of violence. If you like action.
Oh yeah.
I teach history, so I put a lot of emphasis on kind of being accurate with the fighting, but you know, embellishing it because it's fantasy. But like whenever I do a combat scene, it's not like George R.R. Martin or Tolkien where it's like really quick,
right?
And it's like, oh well, you had all this buildup, and then like I go through the sword movements, like it's all official. And my editors say that's actually one of the things that I'm best at. So that tells me that it doesn't get wordy or anything like that. So that's good.
Absolutely. I had a question that was up here. Oh, so Elasmat wanted to know, where did you get the mugs made?
So it's discountmugs.com.
Okay.
I see that a lot of small companies use that company. So like if you know who Steven Crowder is, his mugs, you know the guy that's like changed my mind, that meme?
Mm-hmm.
His mug that he has in that meme is actually the same company, the same exact mug, but in navy blue.
Nice. All right, let me grab that. There we go. Now it's in the chat if you are curious as to where those mugs were made. And Jezebel says she almost bought the mug thinking it was tin.
I try to put. I think I put the description in the mug. Like whenever you go to add it, I think I put that it's ceramic in the description of the product.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. That's a really good company too. Some of the, I'd say probably about 2 or 3 out of 80 mugs might not be exactly up to the standard you would want to give a customer, but in general, they make good stuff.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, if you've ever bought anything in bulk, that's usually how it tends to go. Is you'll have the vast majority of what you get is good, and you always have a couple of cast offs that you're like, well, that one sucked, and I'm not giving that to somebody. That's why we overprint. That's why you over order. That's why you
exactly
everything more than what you actually need. So I did have another question for you. So you have this absolutely beautiful woman as a bookmark.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that it's a bookmark specific to members of the Comics Gate community.
Correct.
How are you kind of checking that?
So what's going to happen is I'm going to send an email to the backers, and if they are, it's going to say if you identify as part of the Comics Gate community, just reply that you are. You know, it's going to be CC'd so nobody else sees the email that you get, and so they will. Yeah, they'll be able to reply to me personally, and I will mark them down as being able to get it.
Okay.
It's going to be that simple.
Awesome. So Jezebel says that she has to go, but good luck on your campaign. Other Shae.
Thank you.
And Soul Ion says Sean Bean and Shae zombie bookmarks. I wish I looked like that, Soul. That'd be amazing. She's absolutely gorgeous and stunning. And that would be a cosplay.
The Narbad bookmark, I'm thinking about just giving it to every backer because not too many people actually signed up for the pre-launch. And, why not?
I would not be angry at that. And especially because I think that a lot of people maybe didn't know that you had this book coming out. It's always difficult to try and get the name, like everything out there to make sure that everyone kind of has an idea that you're coming out with something.
It is hard to do.
All right, so you have some stretch goals, and you've already hit one of them, which is the map as an HD wallpaper.
Yeah, so I'm going to be emailing it to all the backers, and they will get the map that I drew in a very nice quality. So you could, like, if you're like reading the book and you're like, the one in the book's kind of small and you wanted to like zoom in on it, you could do that, right? So it'll be nice for that.
Awesome. I'm going to put it up on this gigantic TV I have up here. And so when I'm reading, I can just look up and see where we are. That's awesome. Okay. So what are some of the other ones that you got going on here?
So we have the next one, which is they're going to get the cover art as an HD wallpaper and the Narbad, the Sean Bean orc, as an HD phone wallpaper. I wanted to make the first 2 stretch goal tiers to be really simple to give to people because, it's just simple and easy. And honestly, I wasn't sure I was actually going to reach any of them. But, I have underestimated people. It's truly amazing. And after that, we get into physical stuff. The villain art, I don't know how, it kind of like the ice demon up at the top. Everyone would get a print of him. And then the orc you see on that poster at 5,000, everybody gets a sticker of him. And then at 5,500, everybody gets a sticker of that female character that it was exclusive for Comicsgate.
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't know. There might be that some of them I might make just because I want to. And then Narbad's sigil sticker. That's kind of like the sigil you see in the back there.
The helmet with the antlers.
Yeah. And then the last one, I was just like, you know what? If we made $10,000, I wouldn't really care at the cost because it's actually really expensive to make trading cards.
It can be.
Yeah. So if we did get to 10,000, I was going to make trading cards for the characters. And those are the stretch goals for now.
Okay. So if how much longer are you going to stay in demand? Because people still have a chance to unlock these tiers for now, right?
Yeah. So that's actually a really good question. So how I'm going to do it is I have enough books being printed to where, because again, it's going to move on to my website after all this is done. So the book will always be possible to get. And I'm going to do the same thing with like the Visual Companion and some of the prints. I'm going to make them in excess. So what's going to happen is the more I print or get certain tiers fulfilled, I'll just take them off of the campaign. But with the things that I'm going to have a ridiculous number of, they'll probably be live for a good long while. And I'll probably have to cut the stretch goals when I start shipping things, which would probably be in late June.
Okay, so we got about a month, give or take, a little less than a month, in order for us to get at least a couple more of these unlocked. I mean, I want the Neris sticker, but that's just because she's super hot.
And I won't lie, she is a freaking awesome character. I think people are gonna really like her.
Look at her. Like, look at her. She's gorgeous. I really wish that I was a lot more confident because I would make that cosplay for sure.
She is she's one of my favorite characters. She's very interesting and totally like just epic in every way.
Whew. Oh, it looks like we've got Papa says that he's got you on Friday payday. So tomorrow you're getting back by him. Tomorrow you're getting back by me too. You might get back by me before I get off of here, to be perfectly honest.
That is what I like to hear.
Yes. Well, I mean, you got it. It sounds really interesting. I can think of even if I were to start reading it and decide it wasn't up my alley, I've got like 10 people who would probably very much enjoy it. So it would be it would not go to waste for sure. But this is a really nice looking campaign. So we did actually have a couple of questions. So one of them, there it is. Luke wants to know from both of us, are you more Lord of the Rings or Chronicles of Narnia?
Lord of the Rings is my absolute, those are my favorite movies ever. So for me, it'll always be Lord of the Rings.
I'm torn, to be perfectly honest. I feel like I got a little bit more out of Chronicles of Narnia, just because it was, I feel like it had a little bit more relatable characters, especially that first Lord of the Rings movie, man. Oh my gosh. That was, I wanted to poke my eye out because it just took so long for things to happen. But I mean, it was all
It takes even longer in the books.
Yeah. There's a reason that I stopped reading them.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like the Lord of the Rings is a piece of literature, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like a modern day fantasy novel at all.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be wholly honest. I like the quicker payouts, and Lord of the Rings is not a quick payout at all. Lord of the Rings is a journey, and if you manage to hang around long enough, then you eventually get the payout.
Yeah, so my books are definitely a lot faster pace, and there's a lot more. I can't emphasize. I don't know what it is about me, but I'm just really good at writing violence. Like I'm talking like Assassin's Creed, like execute, like it just comes to me.
Yeah. Soul Ion wanted to know. So he said there's a nice guest art piece that says it's available with the Tima's Blade package, but he doesn't see it. So is it no longer available?
So I took the Tima's Blade package off. However, I can put it back up for the rest of the day if you like.
Oh, look at that. See, we're getting exclusive little little perks and stuff in there. So Ion, if he brings it back up, that means you have to back that level though. So he brings it back up and he doesn't get a sale. That's going to be horrible.
The artwork in your background is one of the prints you could get in that package.
Ooh, damn it. See now, damn it. Okay. Gosh, I'm going to spend so much money. This is ridiculous.
Well, that tier comes with the ebook, the physical book, the visual companion, and 5 prints of your choice.
Oh, damn. Yeah, put that one back up, please.
Yeah, so I'll definitely put Tima's Blades package back up after this.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I'm going to hang out for that. Ion is impressed. I am also impressed. I'm not just impressed with the book and with the artwork and with what you got for the story. I'm impressed with you, sir, because that is not something that you have to do, but I appreciate it. And I'm going to totally say that it's a Red Valkyrie exclusive extension.
It is my pleasure. I mean, for me, it's all about getting my book out there and people and enjoying it. I mean, that's what I care about.
Right. Absolutely. So Papa had another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you considering an audiobook tier sometime in the future?
I'm not against it. I have no idea how to even begin to do that, but I would absolutely love that. And in a dream world, I would have Sean Bean read it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
In a dream world.
Yeah. Hey, you say that, and then we have people like Zach that are working with like actual celebs.
Yeah, I mean, that's
never
true.
know. Maybe just like hit him up and be like, hey, what would the cost be for you to narrate an audiobook for me?
That would honestly, I'd probably start crying because that's just like, whoa.
Never rule it out because it's only impossible if you never try. That honestly, that would be really epic. So I am going to remind the chat if they have any questions. Make sure that you're posting them in the channel. Pale Rider, I agree. If you can't get Sean Bean, then Red Gaze. That's another very smooth sounding voice.
He does have a nice voice.
And what a high compliment. Some creators do know the value of good customer service.
I think that is paramount.
Absolutely it is. Without the customers, what do you have, right?
I mean, that's what it's all about, really.
Exactly. This is a really, really interesting kind of concept. And so one of my other questions that you have, so you have a couple different artists who've done some stuff for you. How many artists do you think that you have contributing to your visual companion?
Let's see. I have Andrei Vasilchenko. He's the guy that did the cover and the Narbad piece. I have Daniel Cameroonian, who did the piece that's in your background, and he's otherwise known as the Duran. And I have Avery Butterworth from Comicsgate. If Vic King's stuff comes in the mail, his will be in there. He's Comicsgate. Okay. I found another guy that did some of my dwarfs, and I can't pronounce his name, so I apologize to him. And then I have Joshua Esmeralda, who did some of the stuff for Linod, which is my cleric elf warrior. So I think that is 6.
Wow, that's a good amount of creators. So in backing the novel and in backing the visual companion, you're helping not only Shae, but you're helping 6 other creators who are getting their art out there. You're helping make sure that he can employ them for future projects and stuff if it's something that goes over really well and is highly requested and all of that. So you're helping out a much larger collection of people.
And oh shoot, I totally just forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. I do that all the time.
Well, I do actually have, I could show an exclusive character from the sequel to this.
Oh,
if you wanted.
you?
It just came in. It was a reward to myself for my success.
Oh, nice. I'm totally down. If you want to share screen, we can.
I just have to remember where I put it. It's very important.
Yes, it is.
There it is. I think you guys will like this one as well. This artist, the one I can't pronounce the name of, he is probably the easiest to work with artist I have ever worked with. Truly amazing. Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. I tell you which artist's art is on each page in the Visual Companion.
Oh, wonderful. So if people are like what they see, they can go and follow the artists or go and buy prints or whatever from them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We also had Tyler Preston wanted to know, are there going to be drawn illustrations in the book?
There will be a few, yes.
Okay. Very cool. All right, on to the exclusive. Are you all ready? Are you excited? I'm excited. Oh, yes! It's a Viking chick with red hair. I'm 1,000% on board now. Oh, she's an elf.
Yep. So my southern elves are kind of like barbarian elves.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm absolutely gonna need you to like even low res send me some of this so I can do up some cosplay stuffs because those are some serious shoulder pieces that are badass.
Yeah, so those are the skulls of tigers that she's killed, and you can see their pelts on her back.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Ginger elf warrior. Yes, I love it.
So she'll be in the sequel.
Okay, so we're gonna have you back on for the sequel because that cosplay is gonna happen, and I'm gonna work out really, really hard so I can actually do the full cosplay. I am determined. That is badass. She might have some booty shorts though, people. I'm just saying.
Hey, you know,
there might be some booty shorts because that's some ass hanging out.
Oh yeah. This sword is actually, I was watching Forged in Fire and they had it's called a Khopesh. It's almost like a reverse katana. Like the sharpened side is yeah, I don't know, it's unique.
Oh, that's interesting. I really like that. That is badass. Oh, I love it when we get these awesome exclusives. This is fun.
Yeah, so these are actually the skulls of people that like the bowl of the skulls of people that she's killed.
Oh damn. Oh, that's gonna be an intense cosplay. I'm doing it though. I have to. I'm absolutely doing it. When are you doing this? When is this out?
I am working on the second draft right now.
Okay.
But so it'll probably be a little bit because I like to make sure that it's perfect. But it's definitely going to happen.
Oh, I love her. What's her name?
Right now it's Valindra, but I might change the name.
Okay. I'm super excited now. Go back this damn book. I want the second one. Oh, that's so cool. Awesome. Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious over here. So yes, Pale Rider, who says that he is on his phone, and so he's gonna have to take a look on the computer, watch the replay. It's very much worth it. I promise you, she is super hot. I am 1,000% on board with her. She's amazing. And I'm now gonna have to go and watch Count Me cosplay, and so I can do everything justice. Pale Rider says name her Shae.
People are gonna see my name and they're gonna be like, is he okay?
Did he name it after himself? That's weird. I'm gonna change my screen name. I'm not gonna be Shae Zombie anymore. I'll be Shae the Red. It's happening.
The Red.
Well, I'm going to do final call for any questions for the other Shae, the super talented fantasy writer Shae, not the silly cosplay loudmouth Shae that you guys always come to Red Valkyrie for. And I wanted to ask you, do you have any other little bits that you want to kind of talk about with the book or anything before we sign off?
I think I covered everything. Other than it's really, really good. I'm very proud of it, and it's going to look really sexy on the inside as well.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I'm actually really excited for this. Jason wanted to know, because he forgot to check when he backed, when is the expected shipping date?
My hope is to get it out to you before the end of June. Okay. I don't want there to be a crazy long wait, so I'm going to try to be as fast as I can.
Okay, and this is already written at the editors, everything like that.
Yep. I already have the printer lined up. Everything's done.
Perfect. That is how you do this. That is how you do this, especially when you're trying to do something like a fantasy novel within CG. The way that Shae is doing it, the way that Red is doing it, this is how you do this, because it's bad enough to wait for comics and to have all of this artwork and everything that has to come into play. When you're waiting for somebody to write a novel, that's a novel. That's a lot of work. And I think of how long you wait for like George R.R. Martin to get off his ass and finish one. I mean,
yeah, I'm not going to be like him.
Thank goodness.
But like even one of my editors will have my book for 4 or 5 months at a time. So it's
yeah, absolutely.
It takes about 5 years to do the whole process. So
yeah, it's a long process. And so making sure if you're going to come into CG and want to do a novel, which I'm totally down for. I mean, think of how many of us are nerds and geeks and everything that want to read a good fantasy novel and have a visual companion that kind of goes along with it. And that way I get the best of both worlds. Like, most of us grew up reading massive fantasy novels, or at least owning them and staring at the covers because the inside was just too daunting.
They're beautiful.
Yes.
That's how I do it. So like whenever my editor gets a hold of the sequel to this, I'm going to write the first draft of the Saga III. So I'm always working on one book. If I'm not editing the sequel, I'm writing the next one. So
that's awesome. And yeah, hell Frega, thank you for sending people over here to find out about this amazing book and to go back it. That is awesome. Frega is super badass, and I'm 1,000% down for his book too. We have one final question from Yoko Anna. I have every R.A. Salvatore book. Is it like that?
R.A. Salvatore is probably my greatest inspiration. So if you like R.A. Salvatore, you will love my book.
Awesome. That is badass. And then Pale Rider wants to know if we're going to run a D&D game in your world to promote, which could be pretty badass.
That would be amazing.
If you do a virtual one.
Hey, I do D&D with my brother over the phone, like video chat. So, I mean, it's definitely possible.
Absolutely. We could do a D&D. I keep on saying this. We need to, I've never had the benefit of actually sitting down and playing D&D because I'm going to be honest, it scares me. There's just so much that goes into like creating your character and all of that. And there's so many wonderful CGers I know who are really into it. We need to do a D&D stream. It'd be so much fun.
That would be absolutely amazing. My goodness, that'd be crazy.
Right? Oh, so down. And we can even do one of the virtual dice thing.
Yes. As long as I don't have to be the DM.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That is so stressful.
Soul Ion wants to know, is the fatality in this world as bad as in Game of Thrones, or is it a bit more relaxed?
Do you mean like deaths?
I'm assuming.
The hero, because not all the characters make it to the end.
Oh.
Their deaths are, I don't get super into detail, but like if a villain gets gutted, oh, you're gonna hear about the intestines and stuff.
I love it. That's awesome. I think that this is going to be a really fun book. I think it's going to bring a lot to CG, just like I think Red's will. And I love the fact that we're getting novels as well as comics that are starting to come in, because it really just kind of makes us stronger. It makes us more of an industry. It makes us better altogether. We all get to share in each other's loves and storytelling, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be super awesome.
It is truly an amazing movement, unlike anything else.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. Well, I want to thank the chat so much for coming out. You guys are always so awesome and so supportive. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to Red Valkyrie. We are still well on our march to 1,000, and I love every last one of you guys for constantly coming back, for checking out all these awesome campaigns, for backing and supporting these amazing creators. You guys are epic, and I love all of you for it. Shae, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for reaching out. This is a really exciting project, and I'm so happy that I got to have you on and kind of hear more about it.
Well, thanks for having me. This is probably one of my favorite streams I've done. So,
yay! I'll take it. I love it. I love when people get excited to come on the stream. It makes me so happy. Chris, thank you. It was a really great stream. You guys are awesome. And please do not forget, go back. Legends of Fostra. Let's do this. Let's make this book just a skyrocket success. Let's make sure we get 2. We do 2. I'm telling you, I'm going to do that cosplay. It's going to, oh gosh, it's going to be, it'll be crazy, but I'm doing it. Damn it. It's going to happen. So
you got the hair.
Thank you guys so much for coming out. We will check you all next time. Bye.
Bye.